The benefit of eating rotten meat is this: fragrant to stinky, rotten to sticky muscle. It can give the polar bear multi-layered textures and flavors. Because during the process of protein and fat, rotting and fermenting, an unprecedented flavor is released. Although the food isn't very fresh, it's still a protein feast for the polar bear mother and her cubs. It was a spring that never seemed far away, and also Chaya and Xiao Jie's first year of life. As the older sister, Chaya, was born only a few tens of minutes before her younger brother Xiao Jie, but her dominance over her brother was still terrifyingly strong. Although raising cubs in the Arctic is difficult, after having Chaya and Xiao Jie, the mother bears, life was no longer lonely. The siblings would stay close to their mother bear until they grew up. Compared to her brother Xiao Jie's independence, Chaya preferred to stick close to their mother bear. Chaya loved to imitate. Seeing her mother bathing in the snow, she quickly followed suit, rolling around. Seeing her mother stop, she immediately stopped in her tracks too. This looked cute and funny. Chaya didn't know her mother was looking for prey. She thought they were playing a game of statues. A keen sense of smell helps the mother find prey under the ice. Chaya also started sniffing energetically. Just then, the mother rushed out quickly, plunging headfirst into the snow and ice. Chaya immediately imitated her mother, rushing headlong towards her daydreaming brother. While the mother worked hard to break through the ice and snow, the siblings were already wrestling intensely. In this cold spring season, seals are the polar bear's only prey. But hunting isn't easy for the mother. Although she tried very hard, it was often in vain. They had to go elsewhere to find food. Before long, the mother bear found an injured seal. The bloodstains on the ice showed that it had encountered other polar bears. This time, before the mother bear could get close, it quickly escaped. But the seal's fate was already sealed. Although it escaped the polar bear, it sank to the seabed due to its severe injuries, finally becoming a big meal for the sleeper shark. In the cold Arctic waters, there isn't much to eat. But luckily, the male bear's metabolism is extremely slow. Swallowing this seal is enough to sustain his body's needs for several months. Often, the mother bear's hunt ends in failure 8 or 9 times out of 10, but there will always be 1 or 2 successes. After breaking through the seal's fur, the mother bear quickly starts gnawing on the precious fat. This high-calorie food is what she and her children need most. As the sun gradually rises higher, the Arctic begins to enter the period of perpetual daylight. The sea ice rapidly starts to melt. Chaya's family needs to quickly move towards the inland areas. Chaya and Xiao Jie begin the first swim of their bear lives. But the seawater is really too cold. The little ones quickly climb onto their mother's back for warmth. However, the mother is not satisfied with their actions. She quickly dives into the water, leaving them behind. This way, even if the little ones are reluctant, they can only obediently rely on their own strength. When an ice floe appears midway, Chaya immediately climbs onto it. But clearly, the mother doesn't want them to slack off. It seems this swimming lesson must continue until the siblings are exhausted. The mother will then take them ashore. But the younger brother, Xiao Jie, keeps failing to climb up. The mother has to pull him up with her mouth. The fragmented ice surface is full of obstacles for the little ones. This is a difficult challenge. Keeping up with their mother's pace is not easy. After the mother takes them to a safe place, she has to go hunting alone. These seals lying on the ice floes enjoying the sunbath are her targets. Soon, prey appears ahead. The mother bear holds her breath. But just as she pokes her head out to check the situation, she is still spotted by the alert seal. This means all previous efforts will be wasted. But for her hungry children, she absolutely cannot stop. Luckily, the mother bear spots a new target. A seal dozing off. This is undoubtedly an excellent opportunity. She emerges from the water. To avoid startling the prey, the mother bear must be extremely careful. Any slight movement could ruin everything. The tense atmosphere feels like even the air has frozen. After patient observation, the mother notices the seal is very close to the water's edge ahead. She decides to change her plan. Perhaps sneaking up from underwater will be more successful. But when her head emerges from the water again, but startled the seal. The meal that was almost in her mouth just ran away. She couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. On the other hand, the siblings were so hungry they were chewing on ice. After adjusting her mindset, Mama Bear immediately took action again. A new target has appeared ahead. This dazed seal was basking in the sun. But the next second, the deadly killer appeared. The starving polar bear bit down hard on it. Escape was impossible. Because of the seal's selfless sacrifice, Mama Bear's family obtained food again. The siblings finally got to drink high-fat milk. Unlike when hunting seals, Mama Bear was so gentle at this moment. Nature is full of cruelty, but it never lacks warmth. A few months later, the brilliant aurora appeared in the sky. This meant the siblings safely passed the first year of their lives. When the sun appeared again, it was already the spring of the second year. The siblings had also grown bigger. Spring is a busy season. They must hunt more seals to store enough fat. At the same time, the siblings needed to learn to hunt quickly. They could no longer play around like last year. At this moment, a resting seal appeared ahead. Seeing the prey appear, Mama Bear ran towards it with stumbling steps. However, the seal wasn't panicked at all. It even deliberately teased them. Seeing Mama Bear charge right up to it, the seal unhurriedly escaped into an ice hole. This is the seal's usual tactic: to wear down the polar bear's stamina. As the temperature continued to rise, a pod of beluga whales appeared in the ocean. They are a group of ocean travelers. Every summer, they come to the Arctic for summer vacation. This was the first time Chaya saw beluga whales. Her heart was filled with curiosity. However, in Mama Bear's eyes, anything swimming in the water was edible. She also prepared to catch one to take home for dinner. But catching a beluga whale is not easy. However, their curiosity is extremely strong. A bold one swam towards Mama Bear. Without a word, Mama Bear pounced like Mount Tai crashing down. Beluga whales are much larger than polar bears. Wanting to hunt a beluga whale alone is simply a fantasy. But this is also what Mama Bear wanted to teach her children. Even if you know you will fail, don't give up trying. Every summer, the Arctic welcomes large numbers of animals. Although summer holds abundant life, it's not necessarily good news for Mother Bear's family. Because the snow disappears, their white fur becomes particularly conspicuous. This makes hunting increasingly difficult. Seals even gather brazenly, enjoying sunbathing on the coast. They pay their family no mind at all. Mother Bear quietly watches the seals, wanting to sneak closer. But just a glance back from a seal ends the hunt prematurely. They even deliberately pop their heads out of the water to tease Mother Bear's family. In the water, seals are several times faster than polar bears. They circle nearby without fear. Although this is infuriating for the bear, Mother Bear can't do anything about them. In the end, Mother Bear can only grab a clump of seaweed and start chewing. Younger brother Shao Jia indicates he'd rather go hungry than eat vegetarian food. But the next second, ah, smells delicious. Oops, on the nearby cliffs, countless auks have taken over. Every year during this season, they come here to lay eggs. Mother Bear brings the siblings here, ready to demonstrate the skill of raiding nests. However, unexpectedly, a male bear has already beaten them to it. The loose cliff face is always at risk of collapsing. Countless pebbles slide under his feet. This is practically risking his life for a meal. A bear with nothing to eat can't worry about that much. It's obviously impossible for a polar bear to catch a bird on the cliff. But luckily, the eggs in the nest won't run away. Judging by this male bear's technique, he's a habitual egg thief. But just these few eggs aren't even enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. The key is, the gaps between his teeth are huge. They keep leaking out. Although Mother Bear's family didn't get to eat eggs, luckily, younger brother Shao Jia actually caught a seabird. It seems dinner for today is finally secured. This summer seems to have become even tougher. But fortunately, a sperm whale carcass washed ashore. The nutrients from this heaven-sent feast are enough for Mother Bear to survive the entire summer. But the whale's skin is really too thick. They can't bite through it at all. Even Mama Bear can only lick it. Just as the family of 3 were on the whale's belly, gnawing relishly on the skin, an uninvited guest appeared. An adult male bear arrived uninvited. For the safety of the 2 siblings, Mama Bear had to give up the hard-won delicacy. Although unwilling, there was nothing she could do. The male bear's bite force is almost twice that of the female bear. With its powerful jaws, it can easily tear open the whale's skin. Mama Bear and her family were on the nearby hillside, watching helplessly as the male bear enjoyed the feast alone. Soon, the scent of the whale spread. More and more male bears arrived, attracted by the smell. They feasted heartily, their mouths dripping with fat, making the cubs watching nearby almost cry with craving. After eating and drinking their fill, the male bears would gather together for a bath. This is a very rare sight. This unparalleled feast meant they didn't need to fight over food, and without the trouble of hunger, they wouldn't harm the cubs anymore. So Mama Bear and her family also got to eat their fill. Then the family of 3 played happily in the sea. They hadn't experienced such happiness for a long time. This might be the most beautiful day in the siblings' lives. After finishing the whale feast, Mama Bear led the siblings over mountains and rivers, arriving at a special place. A new group of prey lived here. A large group of walruses. Unlike seals, they are larger and have tusks nearly a meter long. It was Chaya's first time seeing such strange animals. He seemed a little scared. He tried to approach the walruses on the beach, only to find these creatures were much bigger than him. And the adult walruses didn't seem afraid of him. Until Mama Bear appeared, the walrus herd realized the danger. They all fled back into the sea. In the panic, a young one was left behind. This meant its fate was sealed. Although cruel, that's how the food chain works. If they don't eat them, they themselves will starve. In the blink of an eye, the 3rd spring arrived. The bond between the mother and cubs was coming to an end. Mama Bear began to distance herself from the siblings, even driving them away. It was time for the siblings to become independent. Mother Bear had already taught them everything she knew. From now on, they must rely on themselves. After a reluctant last look at their mother, Zaya and her brother turned and left. This farewell, perhaps the mother and children will never meet again. At this moment, the mother stands blankly in place, quietly watching her children leave. Parents cannot take care of their children forever. Sometimes learning to let go is the most suitable love for the children. Now, Zaya has completely grown into a bear, becoming a beautiful female polar bear. And her brother Shao Jia is the same. The siblings started one last game. They chased and played on the snow, then went figure skating on the ice. They also played hide and seek together. This is Zaya's favorite game. She hid in the seawater and disappeared. This stunned Shao Jia. He quickly chased after her, but he looked in the wrong place. Happy times are always short-lived. The siblings are destined not to stay together for too long. Eventually, they need to find their own lives. A few days later, Zaya, all alone, walks lonely on the vast snowfield. However, an adult male bear with ill intentions appeared. He discovered the footprints left by Zaya, so he began a frantic pursuit. When Zaya realized, the male bear had already appeared not far behind her. She was terrified. She had always avoided adult male bears. She didn't dare let her guard down. But soon, she discovered this male bear was somewhat different. He didn't seem to have any hostility. However, the male bear soon revealed his true intentions. He rushed forward quickly, towards Zaya. This sudden change frightened Zaya. She quickly entered a defensive state. However, the male bear didn't hurt her. After getting along for a few days, Zaya finally understood that this male bear was actually courting her. For love, the male bear quietly stayed by Zaya's side, watching her playfully roll on the snow. Zaya gradually developed feelings for him too. Just like that, they fell in love. Not long after, they came to a mountain. This was the place where Zaya was born. Here, they officially became mates. The next spring, Lizzie of the Arctic continent, cute Xiong Bao. She is Chaya's precious daughter. Since Chaya got pregnant, Gong Xiong left here. She needs to bear the heavy burden of raising her cub alone, just like her mother raised her back then. The continuation of life might not just be the inheritance of bloodline, but also the passing on of emotions and responsibilities. Every ordinary life carries unspeakable responsibilities and expectations. It is precisely these unknown perseverance and efforts that constitute the true meaning of life.